Avengers Assemble!
Oh my gosh, I wasn't prepared.
Nah, they never are.
They never.
Hey everybody, and welcome to a special episode of the Unwind Rewind.
Yep.
It's a podcast where we bring the movie news to you that matters the most to you, or something. But that's not what we're doing.
No.
Not on this episode. Instead,
No,
we're just going to talk about Captain America 2, The Winter Soldier.
Whoa, that winter. It's coming.
Winter is coming for Captain America.
Because. Yeah,
or it's already passed.
Well, you know, groundhogs.
Yeah.
Shut
Once again, we're off to a fantastic start.
Yes, we are. We make jokes and everything.
We both saw Captain America the day before it came out.
Yes.
We saw early.
Yeah,
early
I guess
previews,
the early release.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Some theaters.
Midnight release, but not really midnight.
Yeah, it's like
early evening. Or
like Thursday at 6 o'clock at night.
I didn't actually get to see it till Thursday at 8 o'clock at night then. Or at 9. 8 or 9.
8 or 9. I saw it at 9.
Yeah.
Point is, we saw it right when it came out.
Yeah.
And we have not been able to talk about it until today.
We have not. It's
been like 2 weeks, and I haven't had almost anybody to talk to about Winter Soldier.
I'm so
and this is building up to a boiling point where I need to talk about Winter Soldier.
Well, you know what we should do? We should turn down that eye on the stove, and let's get to talking.
Where do we start with Captain America: The Winter Soldier?
Well,
let's start with a plot synopsis.
Well, actually, let's start with, the theater itself.
The theater.
Let us talk about your experience.
I saw it at Quinn.
Yeah.
Even though I said I would never see another movie at the Quinn again.
Yeah.
At least not another important movie.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to drive out and see it in Asheville at a nice theater. But I decided instead of waiting to Friday night, that I would just go see the early 8 o'clock show at Quinn.
Yeah.
Because we were having everybody drive out here for my birthday party.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
My birthday was the very next day, and we had lots of friends coming up that night.
Yeah.
And I didn't want like everybody showing up like Cameron and Logan and everybody. I didn't want everybody to show up in town and then me be like, well, peace bitches, I'm going to Asheville to see a movie.
Yeah.
So, because of that, I decided to just suck it up and just go see it at the Quinn.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, I did see it. It was less crowded than usual.
Okay.
And I think that was only because it was a Thursday night and not like a Friday night.
Yeah, yeah.
But there were still a shit ton of college students that sat like the row right behind us. And for a comic book fan, most fans know. Oh, we should say right now that there's going to be a shit ton of spoilers in this episode.
Oh, yeah.
For real.
Yeah, there will be.
This is not going to be a spoiler-free review. So if you haven't seen it yet, shame on you.
Yeah.
And turn this episode off right now.
I mean, I've seen it twice now.
So have I.
That speaks highly.
It's been 2 weeks, so you should have seen it by now. If you haven't, please stop listening.
Yeah. And
anyway,
whatever and such.
So it's no secret to anybody who's read the comic books that the Winter Soldier is Bucky. Yeah. It's no secret to anybody who's looked at the cast for the movie that the Winter Soldier is Bucky. That was not a secret. Yeah. It's no secret to anybody who's seen the trailer that the Winter Soldier is Bucky.
Because all you have to do is just look
because they show his face.
Yeah.
In the trailer. I hate that. I don't know why they did that. But for everybody else, everybody's under the assumption that Bucky is still dead. Yeah. Manuela already knew. But I'm really glad that I didn't go the extra distance to make sure she didn't know. Yeah. Like, I was considering, not showing her any of the trailers that showed Bucky, just because I wanted to see her reaction. I'm glad I didn't go through with that, because as soon as those kids sat down behind me, all they were doing was talking about how much ass they're hoping Bucky kicks in this movie. They're like, dude, I can't wait until Captain America has to fight Bucky at the end of the movie. And I'm just like, come on, guys. Like really. I mean, we all know it's happening.
But there's some people in the audience.
There might be some people sitting around you that don't know.
And they'll be like, what do you mean, Bucky? He's dead. Or, I don't even know if people would even do
because because I read I read other people's reactions like online later. People were asking like, what was your theater like? What was the reactions to certain stuff? And I really enjoyed, like, I got such a warm feeling of all the stories about the kids that didn't know. Like, this one guy was typing about how his, 8-year-old daughter didn't know who the Winter Soldier was, and then when the mask came off and she was just like, oh, not Bucky! I'm like,
that was a reaction I had in my theater, actually. Really? It was really sweet.
I'll talk about that. That's so cool.
Yeah.
But, with a bunch of comic book fans sitting behind us, college students that were just talking about, spoilers, basically. But, whatever, it wasn't that big of a deal.
Cool.
But it was a much better experience than what I'm used to at the Quinn.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the two girls that sat beside Manuela, they weren't with us.
Yeah.
But they had to sit next to us.
Because, of course, it was not crowded.
They were talking almost the whole time. I'll give them points that at least it was relevant to the movie.
Yeah.
But they were commenting on, everything.
And, that really crappy, oh, haha, I think I'm kind of funny.
Yeah, that's pseudo, joking kind of thing. Luckily, they weren't trying to be loud enough for everybody to hear it. It's just between them. But because we were sitting next to them, we could hear it.
Yeah.
But it's just stuff like that. Every single time Captain America kicked somebody, every single time he threw his shield, every single time something happened, either those two girls had to make some kind of remark, and the people behind us had to laugh and cheer at everything. And I know you hate that.
I'm okay with at points. It has to really make sense for it a lot of times. It can't be for everything, but for some things, yes. But anyways, yeah. Go ahead.
Normally that the laughing and cheering and stuff doesn't bother me. Mm-hmm. But eventually it was just this fucking every single thing Captain did in that movie.
Yeah.
First scene with him on that boat, and he's just wrecking all those dudes.
Yeah.
Every single dude he took out got some kind of reaction from the audience. And eventually I'm just I'm glad nobody's talking, because...
Yeah. The only time there was a reaction to anything on the boat was when he kicked him. Be it
that first fucking kick that just launches the dude into the side and over the rail. Holy shit!
That deserved. That
was fucking intense.
That really was that first battle, because he kicks him over there and he throws his shield. And when you think about what his shield is made of and how hard he can throw, when he throws it down, you're dead. You're out. You're like, bro, you're dead.
Broken ribs and everything.
And so there was those reactions were okay. The reactions I got in my theater, the first time was for that, and around the third time when he was on your left.
That was funny.
Yeah, I mean it was funny, and it was good. But there was a couple of people in there why does he keep saying on your left? That's dumb. And I hit my head a little bit from how much I tried to facepalm. But anyways, the person who they were sitting with explained to him he's running on the left. He was warning them not to be on the left.
Yeah, not to just. They were like,
well, they were like, oh, well, that's dumb. Why would you warn somebody? He's faster than that. And it was that's not the.
The point is so that the person in front of you doesn't stop in front or moves in front of you or something.
But, there was lots of really dumb comments the first time I went to go see it. The second time I went to go see it, I kind of just got annoyed from the people behind me, because they were just, laughing at everything. Even if it wasn't funny, they were laughing. Or even if it wasn't really that, they were... It was shit like that. And it was oh, please stop. I swear to God, I'm just going to...
That was my theater, though. Yeah. So, overreactions to everything Captain America did throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Not too big of a deal.
Yeah.
And then the two girls that are trying to make funny jokes, throughout, it was just
It was come on, leave your heckling for later. Or something. Or when you have it on DVD and you try to be famous. Ooh. Yeah. My theater was actually okay. I enjoyed it. I can't stand the Quinn. I mean, we both know. So I made that drive to Asheville that night. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to see it on Friday or Saturday, really. So I went Thursday night, saw it in RPX 3D, because it was like the only time left at that one point. Saw it in that. RPX was great. 3D, yeah. It didn't deserve it. I mean, there were some parts that were actually really cool with 3D, but I mean, it didn't make sense for it. But anyways, yeah. So little girl. Actually, I should talk about a little girl that was in the audience. She said, like, it was the first time I was watching it, and she was like one row and like to the right. And okay, first off, she was as adorable as you can get with a little kid going to see a superhero movie, because she had on a Captain America shirt and a shield, and I was like, okay, obviously this girl's a fan. That's awesome. You know, she's going to be really happy. And, you know, when the movie was finally, like, we had tons of previews. I'm sure your theater probably had.
Oh, yeah, like an absolute shit ton.
Yeah.
Mostly superhero movies.
Yeah. It was that, and then Lucy with,
Yeah, I didn't get a Lucy trailer.
Oh, okay. Lucy looked interesting. I had that.
Not the first time I saw it.
Yeah. One thing I think one thing that made the whole, like, the long previews, like, really awesome was when she was like, oh my gosh, I just want to see Captain America. I don't want to see previews, Dad. It was adorable. And then once when you know, Marvel logo was going, she's like, it's starting. It was adorable. But, her reaction when she saw it was Bucky, I watched her, like, out of the corner of my eye, she went like this. She sort of dropped her shield a little bit and just stared at the screen with her mouth open. Like, she was just in shock that it was Bucky. And I thought that was really cute. There was, like, that was a really cute moment when I was watching the movie in the first time. But, you know, you were talking about the whole expressions and such. But anyways, enough about our experience. Let's get into the actual thing you're going to care about.
So the synopsis for the movie is that Captain America is integrating into society, modern day society.
Yeah.
He is a part of S.H.I.E.L.D., like a level 8.
Yeah, level
S.H.I.E.L.D.
8
or something. Yeah. So he's pretty high up there. And he is Nick Fury's, like, go-to guy to get shit done.
Yeah.
And, there's, this bad stuff happening.
Yeah.
Nick Fury shows, Captain America the Insight program.
Yeah.
Which is these 3 giant new state-of-the-art helicarriers, built underground that are almost ready to get launched. And once they get launched, they will be able to, self-sustaining, like, hover around the world forever.
Yeah.
And keep people safe. And Captain America doesn't exactly approve of this idea because it's more like holding a gun to somebody's head and telling them to live rather than protecting.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But
yeah. This movie deals with a lot of, like, I think,
political insight.
Real life kind of tone.
Mm-hmm.
Like some real life stuff that's just...
It's sort of the world we are in today, the whole drones kind of thing, you know. But more so with these helicarriers asking the question, do we really need superheroes if we know how to do this better, kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
In a weird sense.
But before these helicarriers get launched, there's an assassination attempt on Nick Fury, and it kind of gets Captain America and the Scarlet Witch on this kind of follow the trail to see who's behind all this. And meanwhile, S.H.I.E.L.D. is trying to capture and or kill Captain America because they suspect he's behind the murder.
Yep.
That is the spoiler-free.
That is the very spoiler-free.
That's the spoiler-free synopsis.
Yep.
Now let's talk about fucking everything.
Yep, let's do it.
Start to finish.
Start to finish.
First scene with the jogging.
Got
It's
it.
fantastic.
It was.
Fantastic.
It was.
I love the guy that played Falcon.
I can tell you how much I love him.
Tell me.
In the easiest way possible. His his kind of character is actually what got me into superheroes. I was not into superheroes growing up until, like, and I don't even want it to sound like this, but I wasn't always just, like, I wanted to see a sort of black superhero that was cool and, you know, that actually was doing something super or whatever. I think his character will inspire other children to, like, get more involved with superheroes. And also, I just really like him. He's a funny guy.
Yeah, dude's awesome.
He just played the role perfectly as Falcon.
I will admit that I think the hero part,
the
Falcon and the jetpack thingy, I think is a little silly.
I do too. Yeah.
But I think he himself is such a cool guy and a funny character and just like an all around like dude. I would totally hang out with this guy. Yeah. You know, like the character himself is so cool that it kind of off balances it counterbalances the silliness of like his actual hero.
I want to see it. I want to see how they'll redesign it for future. Because I mean, I feel like they're going to. I mean, they clipped his wings and all that in the Avengers. They're not in Avengers, sorry, in this movie. But I want to see.
You know, it's possible.
I want to see him in
like
Avengers
Stark
2.
may build him a new, upgraded version, and like any other modifications you want before it's finished. Yeah. Make it red and white.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to be able to hear what you just whispered.
Make it play Marvin Gaye album, 1979.
Okay, Batman. I want to listen to Marvin Gaye.
Where are the other albums going? I'm sorry. Anyways, yeah, I like this character a lot. I actually liked how more human he seemed, more so than other characters of his caliber in past movies. I mean, of course, they gave him, the whole backstory with having 2 tours in the Army, or was it Marines?
Yeah.
Army or Marines, something like that. Can't remember which division. But having 2 tours in the war, sort of having to deal with readjusting back into life.
Yeah, and he was comparable to Captain America in that sense.
And it was like, that was really nice.
That's how really they connected.
Yeah. And I was like, thank you. That's a good connection there. Good, well done.
I think that the Falcon character was done perfectly. Yeah, it's a little silly, but you can look past it, especially with all the other shit happening. I mean, we got a giant green guy. We got Thor. Yeah, like it's not too.
We have Hawkeye.
It's not too far out to think like there could be a jetpack flight kind of guy out there.
I just think his character is going to get overshadowed by Iron Man in a way. I mean,
sort of like an Iron Man can do everything and then more.
Yeah. So why do we have Falcon kind of thing? But I mean, it's like, whatever. It's Falcon, still a superhero. I want to see him in more movies. I think his character will, like, work well with everyone else in a way. And I don't know. But yeah.
He's definitely going to show up in future Captain America movies.
Of course, yeah.
I hope.
We'll just have to see about.
He said like it's his favorite role he's ever done.
Yeah.
That like he was so psyched when he got it, and that's like his favorite thing ever. So I'm sure he will always want to come back.
Like no matter what, he'll probably just say, I'll be Falcon till I'm 70."
Yeah. As long as you'll let me.
Old Falcon.
As long as you'll let me. And if you ever kill my character off,
I'm gonna go on my own terms.
That'll become a real Falcon.
Yeah. So there's that.
So the openings, well, not the opening scene of the movie, but right after that, the boat scene.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking good.
It was.
It was pretty awesome. So Captain America and the rest of the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, they have to rescue their crew members. S.H.I.E.L.D. agents are being held hostage by Bartok. I think was his name.
Yep.
And
they actually said is a villain in the comic books.
Yeah, Bartok is like a low.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Like he's a
grade villain.
Yeah,
he's called Bartok the Leaper.
Yeah, because of his kicking of feet and everything.
He does a lot of jumping and flipping and stuff like that, which he did in the movie.
Yeah,
like he was clearly not a superhero, like jumping like Spider-Man does, but he was still flipping in the movie. I'm like, that's a nice little touch.
Right.
I bring him down to a more real level.
Yeah.
That's like, it's a little ridiculous when everybody starts to become something superhero.
Yeah. Around the same time. How coincidental.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But he's got to rescue all of his people that are being held hostage, and that was such an awesome scene.
It was.
Captain America gets down there and starts beating the shit out of all the guys.
Yeah.
I thought it was a very good way to remind people that Captain America isn't just a guy who wears an American flag around him and jumps around. Yeah. Like, he's not some guy... Like, you'd be surprised how many people think that Captain America is just a parkour guy. Yeah. Like, all he does is just run and jump around and throw that shield. Like, people seem to forget. And in their defense, I think the first Captain America doesn't do a great job of portraying that he has super strength and super endurance and stuff like that. Like, in the first Captain America, the greatest feat of strength we see him do is he pries open a tank door, and that's it. But this movie, like that first dude, the first guy, like he just runs up and kicks him so hard into the side of the boat and over the rails.
Thing in the world.
Yeah, that got a lot of reactions.
I felt bad for how much I laughed at that. I tried to be respectful in the movie theater, but I laughed a lot from it.
But he was just taking out everybody. And
they really played off his super speed a lot of times. So
of course, right in the beginning with him running. Oh, dude, I love that. I love that joke. Like when Falcon's leaning against the tree and says, "Why don't you go take another lap?" Did you take it?
Yeah.
I assume you already took it.
I blinked. Yeah. That's funny. I was also thinking about the during the boat scene when there's that long shot of the side of the boat and you see him running. And it was really cool because you would see him running and it would go behind and you would think, okay, well, it would take a second for him to go out and he's already out over there, knock the other guy off the boat, even faster, knocking another guy. It was cool. Yeah. That was a really cool part.
But we find out in that scene that after he knocks out Bartok, which was an awesome this movie has the best choreographed fights that I've seen in a while.
I have to agree with you there too. Yeah. It didn't. I mean, it's known that the pair who does Community, Community, they directed it. This
is their first movie. Yeah, and it's not a comedy. No. It's like an heavy action political thriller. Yeah, with comedic elements sprinkled in. Yeah. But, like, I'm so surprised. I'm so proud of those guys. Like, man, for your first movie that's completely out of what you usually do. Yeah.
It really
it's amazing how good of a job they did.
And they brought him back for the third because of
it. Yeah, for sure. I'm glad. Yeah. And now that I think about it, that makes sense why the Community guy was in that movie. Yeah. I don't know his name. Abed.
But they actually brought them in because of, and from what I've overheard from many other people who've talked about this, they brought them in because of that one, or like I think it was either one episode or two episodes of the big paintball fight. Oh yeah. Because they were like, oh, you could make action into comedy by making fun of all the different things of action. Why don't you do the?
That's such a. I would not trust them. I wouldn't trust them like that. Right? But I'm glad they did. Yeah. So they made a damn good movie. Yeah.
But anyways, please continue. Sorry.
Yeah, but we find out that the Scarlet Witch is on a separate mission to retrieve that data.
Black Widow.
That's exactly what I meant. Yes. Yep. Dude, I do that all the time.
It's okay.
So
we're all excited.
Black Widow, she gets that data thing.
She gets the data disc. Yeah.
So Captain America's pissed at Nick because Nick didn't tell him the whole plan and blah, 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 blah.
Yep. They go through their marriage battle. Turns out no one's getting the kids in this one. Nick Fury's dead. Everyone's angry.
Dude. The scene with Nick in the car.
Oh.
Like,
that was
that whole chase scene thing, fucking badass.
It really was, yeah.
It's, from start to finish was amazing. Like, that, like, almost got goosebumps when all the cops were surrounding him, the SWAT teams and stuff, all pointing their guns at his car, and his little VI system says that, like, there are no police dispatched within like 3 blocks or something.
There are no Washington police dispatched in the area.
Exactly.
And
even his car's surrounded by cops, and so that immediately lets you know that these are not cops.
Yeah.
And I was just like, damn.
I think the funniest reaction I got was it was still the first time when I watched it, when they brought out the big
thing to break his window.
Yeah, that somebody, obviously, who's always having run-ins with the law, had to comment. And it wasn't loudly said, but you could kind of hear it. And they were like, Jesus Christ, do cops have that shit now? I can't break the law. Like, what am I going to do? I'm like, are you fucking dumb? Like, on a scale of 1 to fucking dumb, how fucking dumb are you, kid? Let's talk about this. But, whatever. So that was the thing. That was a really funny scene. You could tell, like, honestly, I feel like a lot of machinery made through S.H.I.E.L.D. that has to do with anything AI. I just already get the hint that, Tony made it. Because of how fucking snarky this fucking car was.
I don't think it was really that snarky.
It was not
it wasn't
snarky.
Like Jarvis level.
No, it wasn't Jarvis level, but it was like air conditioning.
Yeah, it's like well, what isn't broken? Air conditioning is 100% operational.
Yeah, but I mean, it was like there was a couple of other comments. It was like there was. It's still, even though this was a tense scene, you could still laugh at it, which was cool. Not fully though. I mean, you don't want to laugh at explosions in the Midtown.
I don't know, but man, like after that, at the very end of that scene, when he looks forward and you just see the Winter Soldier for the first time, like blurry in the distance, just holding a gun. Like, not aimed at him or anything, just standing straight forward, just staring at him. Like, it kind of reminded me of the Joker in The Dark Knight, when the Joker's got his little Tommy gun, and Batman's driving at him.
Yeah. Because, I mean, that was really cool.
Man, the music score for that movie is pretty good, too.
Yes, it was.
And, like, as soon as Winter's Shoulder as soon as Winter's Shoulder showed
William
up.
Shatner, yes.
As soon as William Shatner showed up, the music changed to those, like, long, like... What is that? What is that somebody outside?
Yeah.
Okay, they can't hear it, but there's some interesting noise
this
that's
is
happening
some baby making music on a
Somebody's
different
playing
level.
some baby making music outside.
And it's daytime, sir. Please take that inside.
Anyway, but the music changes to those, like, long screeches, like that metallic... Eek! The alien noise.
Eek! Sound like a printer that's on its dying legs. I need eek!
You know what I was saying.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. That was pretty cool.
It was.
Now,
really good.
You don't watch the show Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I have not tried it yet. I want to now that I've seen this movie, but,
Manuel and I keep up with it all the time. It's, objectively, it's not that good. Like, it's very hit and miss. Right. More misses than hits, usually. The first, 5 episodes are almost difficult to try and get through. But eventually it starts to pick up a little bit.
Right.
And right about the time that the Captain America episodes start, it gets badass as hell.
That's what I've heard. But
we find out, if you watch S.H.I.E.L.D., you find out that little blowtorch kind of thing that Nick Fury had to cut a hole through the manhole, one of the main characters in S.H.I.E.L.D. developed it. Huh. And he wanted to give it to S.H.I.E.L.D. and be like, guys, check it out. We should heavy mass distribute this. And Nick Fury just took it for himself. And he's just like, I want this one for me and me alone. So that one blowtorch thingy was like the one that guy made.
That's really cool.
Just little things like that, I guess.
Little things like that are actually really cool when it comes to movies.
So.
Yeah. He escapes.
Hydra.
Yeah.
Fucking Hydra.
Hail Hydra. That's been the new internet sensation.
Yeah, that's the new internet sensation. The new meme is to post a picture of two characters whispering to each other and type Hail Hydra. I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of posting a couple of them.
I'm guilty of doing it in real life. When I was going to go see it with Olivia the second time, when I was walking up to her, I gave her a hug and I was like, Hail Hydra. Because we both seen it. And she just like burst into laughter. It was good times. But yeah. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. So, a lot of people were assuming that Hydra was going to be in this movie. Mm-hmm. I kind of guessed it. But I was not ready for, like, how, like, scary it was going to be, almost. Yeah. Like, it's hard to explain, but, like...
No, I mean, it makes sense. I felt like there was going to be talk about it, but I wasn't really ready for its scale.
Yeah, I was.
That's the scale.
Yeah, I was pretty unprepared for how like unsettling it was going to be. That almost everybody in S.H.I.E.L.D. is actually Hydra this whole entire time.
Yeah.
Like that, that like gets under your skin.
Yeah, because then you're just like, then now
like
who's
anybody.
Hydra?
Yeah, one of my favorite scenes. What?
I said, what if Iron Man is Hydra?
Oh my gosh.
Anyways.
There's, like, Agent Sitwell, the first one to kind of be revealed to be the Hydra guy.
Yeah.
He's been in previous Marvel movies, and he's been in the show a couple of times. Like,
he's the guy with the glasses that they threatened.
Yeah, the bald guy. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure.
He's not a very important character, but he's shown up enough in this series, especially if you watch the show, that he's kind of like it just shows you how deep it goes. I think he was a perfect choice to show the initial, to reveal Hydra.
Yeah.
He was a good choice for a character. And it's kind of like a bummer. Like, he's not like one of your favorite guys in the show, but he's kind of a cool guy, and he's always got that snarky comment. He's just kind of got this like douchiness to him that you like more than you hate.
There's one person I always get confused because I never remember him, and I always tell myself to go back and look for him, but I never do. He was the one, I guess, who went up to him at one point in the movie and mentioned about his button and says, "I like your button," and then leaned into him close and said,
"Okay,
who was that guy? I always forget. I know he was in Iron Man.
He was in Iron Man 2.
Yes.
Senator Stern.
Yes.
He's the guy in the beginning of the movie when Iron Man's having that huge conference, like, where they were trying to get his suits. He's the one that's just, like, trying to get Tony to give them the suits and just saying, like, "Oh, fuck you, Stark, fuck you." Yeah. And at the end of the movie, he has to give him the buttons, calls him a prick.
Yeah, and bugs him. Yeah. That's who I can never remember.
I got goosebumps from that.
I did
that
too.
Shit gave me goosebumps. So I was like, oh, fuck, no, man. If like, that guy's Hydra, anybody could be Hydra.
And especially because then you think, you're like, what if he got Tony's suits?
Dude, if he had managed to get Tony's suits way back then, fucking Hydra would just be flying around in Iron Man suits all the time.
And it's just like...
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a cool thing.
I got... See, when he first walked out of the building, he's walking down the steps with Sitwell and stuff, I was, like, everybody kind of... A couple people chuckled because a couple people remembered who he was.
Yeah.
And he's talking about gonna go bang some young woman who wants to be a reporter.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So
I was just, like, a little bit unsettled at that point. At that point, I was like, oh...
But then he turns and whispers the Hail Hydra, and I'm just like, oh, shit.
And then that's when internet took over.
Yeah.
That point.
So, another wonderful surprise in that movie was Zola returning from the first movie. Arnim Zola was that little short Nazi for Hydra.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I was like, I don't know his name. But yeah, that was
the guy in the first movie. He showed up in the second.
He was Transcendence. Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
I'm sorry.
I mean, I was thinking it.
Yeah. Oh, great.
That was a really good way of doing Zola. in the Marvel Universe, which is trying to be a little bit more realistic than the comics. That was a good way of doing it. Because that's basically what he does in the comics, is he puts his consciousness into a robot body, which looks really goofy. It's really subtle, and you only know it if you're a comic book reader. But the robot, Zola, in the comics, is just this big, bulky robot who has his entire upper body is like a big TV screen that shows his face, and then his head is just a camera that pivots around. Yeah. And they show the shot of the computer. Right. After they turn them on, they show the big, wide shot of the big screen with Zola's face on it, and it has the camera sitting on top looking around at them. And I was like, holy shit.
That's really cool.
It's really subtle, but I liked that.
I didn't know that. That's really cool. That's cool.
But
I also like how they showed how much data it takes in the goodness, what, in the 70s, was it?
Yeah, it was something like the early 70s.
Early 70s. It took just to create an AI ever since, to hold that side.
See, I'm actually like super impressed that way back then, Arnim Zola was smart enough to be able to do that.
Right.
That is like, he's scary smart. I think he's smarter than Tony Stark is.
That would be cool.
I think he's smarter than Tony. If he had access to like modern day sciences, equipments and stuff, like he would be a very formidable opponent. I like the way they handled how that scene ended too, with the missile hitting that bunker, and seemingly destroying Zola. Because they leave it in a way that if they never want to use him again, we can assume he was destroyed in that scene. But if they do want to use him again, there was that flash drive thing set up before they even got there.
Exactly.
I think somebody went down there and copied him onto a drive or something.
Well, I mean, that's how they would initially have got him in the first place, on the ship. Yeah. So,
I don't know.
I don't know either.
But I'd like to point out that little flash drive port was hooked up before they even got down there.
Yeah.
So somebody was down there recently. Yeah. Somebody, Hydra, was down there recently. So I think somebody might have made a copy of it. Zola does not strike me as the kind of character. Like, think about it this way: he's a villain.
Yeah.
When he found out about his terminal illness, he went out of his way to find a way to like avoid death, and he did this by transplanting his consciousness into computers. Like, that's how far he's willing to go to avoid being destroyed, being killed. So why would he willingly sit there and buy time to let the missile come destroy Cap? Yeah. Like, I understand he wants to kill Captain America, but he wouldn't do it. A guy that was willing to go so far to stay alive would not willingly stay there and get blown up by the missile without knowing he's copied somewhere else. Yeah. So I think we'll see him again.
I actually think that that kind of question will be answered. And okay, let me go ahead and say, after Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has its season finale, I don't actually want it to come back. I want it to be in a sense of the way American Horror Story does their seasons, where each season is a different thing. Yeah. I would like, actually, Agent Carter to take Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s place, to go more into that little backstory. Because I actually think her...
Agent Carter?
Peggy Carter.
Oh, yeah.
I would actually like that to... I mean, of course, it's already greenlit. They already had their pilot sorted, which is the one shot. Yeah. I would like to actually see that go more into him and to his decision of doing that and how that affects everything else in the future. I would actually like to see that happen. And I don't know. I want it to be a trade-off of you don't have Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. having at the same time of Agent Carter at the same time of all the Marvel movies. That's just so much.
You know, I'm curious how the show will end. There's, I think, 2 episodes left before the finale, or 2 in total, something like that. And S.H.I.E.L.D.'s already been completely destroyed. Like, it's dismantled in the show. Right. They're the last, like, team on the run, kind of. And they're hiding in a secret bunker that Nick Fury built. up in like Alaska or something
with Patton Oswalt.
Yeah, with Patton Oswalt.
I think that's funny that he's in it. Yeah.
He's great. I would assume there's obviously not going to be another Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season. They might keep it the exact same show and just change the title. I mean, because they can't be Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
They can't.
They in the last episode they burned all their badges.
Yeah,
they're not S.H.I.E.L.D. agents anymore.
Yeah.
So they might do a season 2 and just change the title of the show, or they might just get rid of it completely and just never do it again.
It might have just been
for your opinion about the doing an Agent of Carter show.
Yeah,
I've thought about that too because they've been talking about it for a while.
Yeah, they have.
I don't think it would be bad, but I also don't think it would be extremely interesting either.
I don't think it would be either.
We can't have all the cool villains and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Way back in year 50.
Exactly.
1950 is not going to have as formidable threats.
I don't know. And that's actually my problem. I'm always into like those really dark political spy shows type thing. It's just
what if they did it? What if they said it instead of Agent Carter taking place in the year like 46 or 50 or something, like right when S.H.I.E.L.D. started. What if S.H.I.E.L.D.'s been going on for a while?
That's what I was hoping.
And it's more of a Cold War setting.
See, that would be really cool.
That'd be kind of cool. You get some Russian stuff, like maybe the Russians are... Because they're the ones that experimented on Bucky.
Yep.
The Russians are the ones that brought Bucky
That's back. What I feel like. It's really going to... I want it... Like, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to delve more into, like, maybe, like, questions that have been brought up because of this whole Hydra thing. And then I just want to see where it can go. I really feel like... I don't know. I feel like Agent Carter has a chance of being better and more understanding than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in a sense. But I don't see if it can. But who knows?
I think I would have no doubt that the show would be better quality because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s not the best. But I would be just concerned about the threat level. Like, are the stakes that high when it's so long ago? I don't know. Yeah. And you can't introduce a lot of supervillains and stuff, superheroes, because then it'd be way too common. Like nowadays, like why is everybody surprised that Iron Man, he's not really that special if there's already been like 50 superheroes and supervillains beforehand.
Yeah.
So they got to keep I'm not sure if the Agent Carter thing would ever happen.
That's true,
but I'm not opposed to it.
Yeah, it was cool to see Peggy Carter in her older age.
Yeah, I did. Really I was watching the scene and I was just like, all right, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Until that last bit, the last bit with the Alzheimer's.
Yep.
That I was just like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
No, guys, no. Shit. Manly tear.
Yeah.
One manly tear. I'm just like, fuck.
Like, get back in there. Get there. He's like, no, I'm going. And I'm like, no. Yeah. I felt bad about that. Especially was like, well, I can't leave my best girl when I haven't gotten my dance yet. I was like,
I was already expecting that line to come up, so I was bracing myself for it, and I was like preparing myself ahead of time to not get choked up on that. But there was the fucking Alzheimer's thing that got me.
Yeah,
that I was just like, oh shit, I can't handle this. Fuck.
And her emotion when it happened, I was like,
yeah.
But that was really there was lots of really good scenes in this movie.
So, one character that was in that movie that a lot of people are not aware of is Sharon Carter.
Agent 11? Agent 13?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's Peggy's daughter.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
And he didn't find out until later.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the comics, they get married.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Cool.
They kind of had a little bit of a tiny push in that direction before being like, all right, well, we got more important shit to deal with.
Yeah.
I'm very glad that happened.
Yeah.
If the movie was if half the movie was just the romance between Sharon Carter and Steve, I'd be a little agitated with it. It's like, you got more important things to focus on. And I'm glad that was just a one-and-done scene.
It was, yeah.
And they never saw each other again for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
So, it was well handled.
Nice. Yeah.
Glad that they didn't push any weird romance between Black Widow and Steve. I was bracing myself for that.
I was actually thinking it would happen.
Yeah, I was hoping that maybe they'd just make a joke or something, which they did. They just made one or two jokes, and then that was it. Like the mall scene, where they had to kiss each other to avoid being seen. Yeah, that was alright. Yeah. And that was it, so I'm thankful.
Yeah. A little bit of witty banter back and forth in the car afterwards about, it's the first time.
Is that the first kiss you've had since 1945?
Yeah. And he's like, I'm 95, I'm not dead.
Yeah.
That was funny. That was a good laugh. But yeah, there's that.
One of my favorite lines of the movie is, where did you learn how to steal a car? 1942 or 1944, whenever. Yeah. Learned how to blah 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 hotwire Jeeps back over in Germany.
Yeah.
Also, we're not stealing, we're borrowing. Get your feet off the dash.
Yeah.
And she, without saying anything, she's just like, shit.
What the fuck? Gotta get done. Gotta go down.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool seeing little timely, back when Steve was younger, when they made it to the base and looking at all that. That was a little cool little touch they added. I'm glad it didn't dwell on it. I felt like it could have easily just went ahead and just dwelled on the past. I'm glad it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Also, Specimen.
So god. Jeez, everybody's just like, it's like a gay.
Yeah. It's like, shut up, guys.
God, what does it even matter? It's just this no-name nobody in a movie.
He's just saying specimen. That's it.
It's like a gay. This is he gay for Cap?
No, it's Tumblr for Cap.
Actually,
yeah. Let's be real. It was
Tumblr
for
Cap.
Cap.
That guy was Tumblr.
He was the representative of Tumblr at that moment. I shoot so many bullets at Tumblr all the time.
I know.
And I'm on it, and I use it for, to grab pictures for video games and such, because I think they're really cool fan art for video games. But man, I shoot so many bullets at Tumblr. It should start wearing bulletproof vests when we get on the show. It's kind of... Anyways, continue, I'm sorry. What next?
My favorite scene of that movie
okay,
is Captain America driving the motorcycle, and they're shooting the bullets at him, like from that hover jet thing. Yeah. He's just weaving in and out and dodging them, and then he just single-handedly takes out an entire little jet by himself. Was the most badass shit I've ever seen.
Which, because of that happening, I'm so ready for the scale of Avengers 2.
Yeah.
Like, I think about things like that. Like, okay, we've seen a little bit of his power. He's starting to be able to control it more and do all this other kind of stuff. Now let's see what happens when everything's on the line. Not just America, but the world. You know? Like, I feel like the scale of that's going to be amazing.
Yeah, for sure. The Winter Soldier himself.
Yep.
The fight on the bridge with, on top of the cars and stuff.
Yeah.
So fucking good.
It was. Also, the gifs coming out of that, of him reaching down and grabbing the wheel. It's like, Jesus take... No, not you, Bucky.
Jesus take the wheel. Not you.
That's been funny.
That's funny.
But anyways, that was a really cool scene.
That scene is so brutal. I'm surprised at how brutal this movie was.
Yes. You get especially once when he's fighting at the beginning of the boat and he throws a hand through the knife.
He throws a hand at
the
knife.
He throws the knife through the hand.
Wow.
Sorry, continue.
Yeah, right off the bat. But, that movie gets hardcore after a while. Mm-hmm. The further you get in that movie, the more, brutal some of those deaths are.
Yeah.
Bucky reaching in, grabbing Sitwell, and throwing him in front of an oncoming semi-truck.
Yeah.
Just gets crushed.
Yeah.
I was, not prepared for it. I was like, oh, shit!
Yeah, right? I think the thing that got me was not only that, but, okay, when he shot the grenade and it hit Captain America's shield, slings him all the way through that. Honestly, watching that scene was like playing Burnout. All over. You hit one thing, everything just goes to shit.
Yeah, because he blocks the grenade with the shield, but the force blows him off the car, over the bridge, through a bus. Yeah, and it tips the bus. The bus crashes into another truck, which flips the bus over. Yeah, I was just like, holy shit, he's dead. He's dead. By God, he's dead, Cole. He's dead.
The worst thing about that, though, was that there were people still on that bus when it happened.
Exactly.
And the worst thing is, like, and I didn't know how they were going to handle this scene. But when, like, Captain's finally waking up, and they bring out the guy with the minigun, there are people still trying to get out of the bus when it's shooting. And when he starts shooting at the exact place where people are trying to get out. And then going across. Mm-hmm. You see people falling down and everything.
Dude, it's like, fucking hard to watch.
It got bad. Right. I was not prepared for that level.
To go from like Thor, which was such like almost a lightheartedness, to suddenly this as the very next movie, and innocent civilians are getting mowed down by Hydra. It's fucking. It was hard to watch, but I appreciate it in a way though.
I do too.
It's very well done. Yeah, and it just shows like how dangerous they are,
and it also just shows like, hey guys, remember, Disney helped.
Disney. This is a Disney movie, guys.
This is a Disney movie.
Maybe it gives people hope for a Punisher movie at some point.
I still hope for that. Don't we all though?
But once Bucky gets down there and actually starts fighting Cap. That was the fight scenes are so well choreographed.
And just like stopping the knife, dropping it down, grabbing it.
Stopping the knife, dropping it, flipping the knife.
Yeah. It was cool.
I loved every bit of that fight.
This is one Marvel movie that I want to own the day it comes out.
Oh yeah.
Just to watch the special features. Like, that's all I want. Like, I have yet to buy a Marvel movie when it comes out. I haven't bought the Avengers yet. But Captain America Winter Soldier is one I want to own the day it comes out. And just watch it over and over.
For sure.
For sure.
That mask reveal.
Yep.
It's pretty cool.
It was.
And I liked the line. Hokey. Yeah, it wasn't weird or anything. It wasn't overly cheesy either. Yeah. The line that said at that moment, if I were to read it on paper, I would cringe almost. Like, are you seriously going with that? Yeah. That joke? But it was actually really almost eerie in the movie. Just that, Bucky? Who the hell is Bucky? Yeah. And then start shooting at him again. Yeah. Like, if I were to read that on paper before seeing it, I would be like, ew. Yeah. Don't do that. It almost seems like a joke or something. Mm-hmm. But, I don't know, the way the line delivery and with everything happening, just it felt real to me. Yeah. It felt good.
And that's really what you need for these types of films. Really for any film. It's that line delivery. There was lots of really good scenes in that movie.
Yep. I certainly loved him going to get his old suit, the World War II suit, and the whole last act of the movie is in his old outfit. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And old Stan Lee popping in as the janitor. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get fired."
Here's the thing about the Stan Lee cameos in all these movies. Almost, as far as I know, in every one of these movies, whenever he shows up, he's got some kind of funny line. Mm-hmm. It's just like some one-line thing. In this movie, it was, "I am so fired." Yeah. And
you said that a little bit like Joker. I'm gonna need you to try again.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
And back in the first Thor, when he's like in the truck, did it work? You know. Yeah. Like he's always got some funny line.
These voices you have, man.
Dude, I don't fucking.
It's great. Continue. Did it work?
Did it work?
All right, Butters. No, that wasn't Butters. It doesn't matter. Continue. Sorry.
Unfortunately, every single time I see these movies in theaters, I never know what's said because as soon as fucking Stan Lee pops his face out, everybody goes. starts cheering and clapping and stuff, and his mouth moves, and I'm like, I don't fucking know what he just said.
I might as well you might as well start adding subtitles to Stanley. We can all understand.
Like, yeah,
but
it's just there's subtitles on the bottom of the screen. He's just like, I want a penis in my butt right now.
Yeah, I agree with Stanley.
What did he say?
It said
something about penis, something about fuck Jews or something. Yeah. I don't even know.
Wow, I agree with his views. I'm sorry. That was a bad
But
joke.
yeah, anyway, that's just a little tiny nitpicky thing about audiences. Is that like everybody, as soon as the Stanley pops up, everybody starts screaming and hollering and clapping, and it's just like, guys, it's not a surprise.
Yeah,
he does this all the time, and every single time, I don't know what's being said.
Yeah, it makes you wonder though, and I hate to say it like this, but when he passes.
When he passes, every Marvel movie from here on out for the rest of the time is going to have In Memory of Stan Lee at the end of the movie.
Yep. They will. In some form or fashion. I think the one, like, right after he passes will have this huge, like, montage of stuff. And then everyone after it will just have a small...
Yeah, I can actually see whenever it happens, the credits for that movie, the credits will be on the side, and on the left side of the screen or something will just be photos of Stan Lee and his family or something like that.
And, like
random
B-roll.
Yeah, people he worked with, things like that, him working at a desk. Yeah, I could see that happening.
I would actually enjoy that to happen, because it'd be like a nice little thing, but, you know. I don't know where that... I'm sorry, that just came out of my mind.
Well, it's going to happen at some point. We got to come to terms with it.
I mean, we should all...
although,
prepare yourselves.
A lot of people are under the impression that he's immortal, though.
I mean, Excelsior.
Dude hasn't changed at all in like
20
years. I've watched YouTube videos from 1992 of like little shows that didn't really do too well on TV, where like he...
You want to be a superhero?
Earlier than that. Like, I know back in the way early 90s, he did a show where he was the host, and they would get artists, comic book artists and stuff to come on the show and talk about their experience with, like, working and what they've done and stuff like that. Yeah. And then the latter half of the show would be a camera, over-the-shoulder camera thing, while the artist draws a picture or something, and they talk and stuff while drawing. I would actually say it's not even that bad of a show. It didn't only have, like, 5 episodes or something.
I mean, that's kind of...
But, like, this was 1992 or something, and Stan Lee looks just like he does now. There's no difference.
We have changed more than he has.
He's got immortality somewhere. Like, I don't know if it's, like, every single time a Marvel movie gets released, he gets years added on to his lifespan. Just like Ric Flair. Yeah. Whenever Ric Flair wins a match in the ring, he gains the life force of the opponent. Yeah. That's why he's still alive in wrestling.
Little did we know, the reason why Stan Lee still looks the way he does, he actually has Captain America's serum inside of him.
Yeah, maybe.
It could happen.
Dude, I don't know.
Dude, who knows? He has so much money, he could have made anything by now. But
anyways,
back into movie.
Yeah, so latter half of that, or latter bit of that movie with the takedown of Hydra and the helicarrier stuff is pretty fucking cool.
I enjoyed a couple of name drops that happened. Remember from the guy with glasses who...
Sidwell,
thank you. That little brief moment when he says Stephen Strange.
Yeah.
Everyone kind of was like, I was like, I don't even know the comic book character completely. I was just, they said it.
They said that thing I know nothing about.
Yep. I wanted to learn more about it, though. I'm still trying to, but never.
Well, it raised a lot of questions. A lot of people are wondering if, because of that particular line, if Stephen Strange, Doctor Strange, is actually already out there doing stuff, or if like they're predicting that he will become Doctor Strange. And I think it's more of the latter. They were talking about how the algorithm predicts the future, people's future, and that's what the whole Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. thing is about. The nameless villain, who they call this villain the Clairvoyant because somehow this villain knows everything that they're gonna do. Right. It predicts their future almost to a T, And we find out in this movie that it's Zola in the computer. Yeah. Or more specifically, it's whoever's using his algorithm. Yeah. It might not be him specifically, but the algorithm that he's created, his little database and formula to literally predict the most likely outcomes of certain people's futures, that the Hydra's using that, and Hydra in general is the clairvoyant. Yeah. So Doctor Strange might not actually be a superhero out there right now doing stuff, but Zola's so smart and his formula is so precise that he's predicted that Doctor Strange, who right now he could just be a regular surgeon, that he's predicted the outcome that he becomes Sorcerer Supreme. And that's fucking crazy.
That would be really cool.
Yeah. That's another one of those unsettling things that that's scary close.
I was really hoping that actually during the point when all of the helicarriers are targeting people all over,
it would start showing some names on the side or something.
Yeah, and I know they showed Maria Hill, they showed Tony Stark, they also showed one person and I can't remember the name.
Did they show the Hulk?
I don't think they showed.
Did they show Bruce Banner on there?
I didn't see Bruce Banner. I saw Michael London. Does that name ring any bells for any Marvel character?
Not off the top of my head.
That's the only name.
Granted, I don't. Some of the lower tier heroes, I don't actually know their real names. I just know the hero name. When
that started happening, I really tried to pay attention to at least the main name that it would target first. Yeah. And one of them was just, it looked like a regular guy walking with a child, and the name was Michael London. And it looked like a little girl. But it was in the park somewhere in the world. Can't remember where.
I'm gonna look it up.
Oh yeah. Oh, so I thought you had it there for a second.
No, I'm trying to get your internet to work.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
It's not working properly.
I'm sure.
It says I'm unable to connect to the internet.
Well,
it's got a little dinosaur.
Oh, I love dinosaurs. They go roar and all that fun stuff. They do dinosaurs things.
Like open doors.
Yeah.
Alright, I can't get internet.
Yeah, I think mine's starting to crap out right now. Michael London. That dead air.
Yup.
Yup.
Please stop.
I'm sorry, I tried.
So...
Yeah, it's offline. Apparently.
Yeah, I did catch the Stephen Strange thing. That's cool, I guess.
I don't know. I thought it was really cool just dropping names like it's going out of style. Guess. I don't know. I always feel like there's something else that might happen with it. What else can we talk about?
That last fight was with Cap and Bucky. For the first time in any of these movies, I actually thought the main character was going to die. Yeah. I thought this was it. I was like, holy shit, they're actually going to kill off Chris Evans as Captain America in the second movie. That's surprising.
That's a bold move.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Dude got stabbed and then shot 3 times. Once in the leg, twice in the stomach. Yep. And that was before the helicarrier started exploding and he got punched like 10 times by the metal superpowered arm.
And then dropped into
and then dropped from like 200 feet in the air. Yeah. I was like, holy shit, this is gonna be it. Yeah. Evans is dead. Yep. I'm so happy he's still sticking around though. I'm glad they didn't. I wouldn't have had a problem with him dying. It certainly would have been very bold. Yeah. For sure. It would be pretty cool. But
honestly, it would have been interesting on how they lead that into Avengers 2.
But in the comics, Captain America is killed when he's shot in the gut 2 or 3 times. So, there's already some like, oh god. Yeah. And then oh god. It's Bucky time. and then Bucky becomes the new Captain America in the comics.
Yeah. Do you think they'll still go that route?
Eventually. I think they'll wait until after Avengers 3. Okay. I think they want to get the Chris Evans trilogy of being the Avengers leader. Yeah. Before passing that torch on. I think either he will die in Avengers 3 or the immediate Captain America movie after that, and they'll have Bucky take the torch.
Okay.
Maybe, at least.
Because, I mean, all he has left really is Avengers 2 and Cap 3. So.
I think he'll do Avengers 3.
You think he'll do it?
Yeah, I think. You know, a couple episodes ago, we talked about how he doesn't want to do movies anymore? Yeah. He came out like 2 weeks ago and said that that was a lie, that somebody made that up, and that he's ready to keep doing this for a long time.
Really?
Yeah. He said he doesn't know how that rumor got started, but that's from the horse's mouth.
Wow.
So.
Well, then never mind. Now we have more things to think about. Cool. Well, that puts the whole death rumor to rest. Kind of.
Well, for now.
For now, yeah.
It won't be an immediate thing. But for the first time ever, I thought that the main character was going to die.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see Thor 2 and expect Thor to die or anything like that. But Captain America, I was like, he's done. Yep. There's no coming back.
Put this dog to rest.
Yeah.
So, anything else about the main movie we want to talk about?
Yeah. That was just fucking awesome.
Yeah.
All around. 10 out of 10. It's the best Marvel movie yet.
I agree.
For sure. And I hope that future movies, not just Cap, but I just hope future Marvel movies can come close to that. Like, they don't all have to be better. Yeah. They don't all have to be as good. But as long as you can get somewhere close to that general vicinity, I'm happy.
Yeah.
That was a good movie.
It really was. How about that first end credit scene?
The first end credit scene with Baron von Strucker.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty cool. I knew that the twins were gonna be in the end credits.
Yeah.
Because I already knew going in that they were gonna be somewhere in the movie, and when the whole movie finished, they were like, oh, well, obviously they're the end credits. Right. It's the most logical place to put them, right. I guess.
It would have been weird to have them in the actual main movie.
But I was not sure how they were going to do their, like...
Quicksilver and all that.
Like, how are they going to explain the Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, how their powers work and stuff? Because they can't say they're mutants.
Yeah.
They're not allowed to say that they're mutants.
They're calling them miracles.
I think that's a rumor.
Well, because I mean, it is a rumor, but he say it a lot.
He says it's the age of miracles.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that.
Well,
he
also mentioned something about like saying that here are miracles, like these are miracles or something like that. I felt like when at one point
they just called them survivors.
Oh, okay.
They're the survivors of the experiment. But the point is that they're going to explain their powers because they were Hydra experimented on them using Loki's scepter. And I was like, oh shit, I forgot all about that thing.
Right.
And we find out in S.H.I.E.L.D. that S.H.I.E.L.D., all these weird items that should be locked away or whatever, like they have a slingshot program where things that are way too dangerous to keep on Earth, they put in a rocket and they shoot it off into the sun.
Oh, wow.
That's their slingshot program. They introduced that in like episode 2 or 3. Oh. We find out in the most recent episode that that's not actually true. That S.H.I.E.L.D. is lying. That they say that they're shooting them off and they launch rockets, but they're empty. And that S.H.I.E.L.D.'s actually keeping all the goodies in a secret facility, like way underground and stuff. And Hydra obviously knows about it.
Yeah. Hydra probably.
They're probably the reason that stuff's not getting launched.
Yeah.
And they're in this episode of S.H.I.E.L.D., they go down there and get a whole bunch of stuff. They're just like, well, now or never. Let's go ahead and grab everything. Now that our cover's blown, now that we're out in the open, let's just grab as much shit as we can and get out. But I think over the course of the whole show, and who knows how long beforehand, they've just been very subtly taking like one thing and sneaking it overseas or something into Hydra facilities and like being like, work on this, test on this stuff. This is for us.
Right.
And so I forgot all about Loki's scepter, but I would have assumed that they would slingshot it into space, and instead Hydra's snuck They sneak that shit into a Hydra base, and that's how Baron's got it.
Yeah. And the way he was talking about, like, this is bigger than Hydra. Who knows if there's a even bigger plan, more so than Hydra?
True. Yeah, he's just kind of like a... Hydra's just like...
Yeah, small time.
That's just like, this is bigger. Yeah. This is bigger than just like schoolyard, team battles.
Yeah.
I work for Hydra. Hydra has employed me, but I am doing this for the greater, whatever. It's cool.
What did you... Now, I've had a couple people mention this, and I saw it the second time when I saw it. Quicksilver and his, like, really strange, like, gathering of muscles, and then they're disappearing all of a sudden. Did you notice that?
What?
Like, when he was speeding around in his thing, there was at one point when he was just, regular body, and then he moved over to the side, and he has, like, these huge muscles, and then they disappear when he moves back again. Did you notice that?
I don't think that's true. I think people just aren't paying attention enough.
Well, I saw it, too, is the thing. It's like, I saw him bulk up and then debulk.
Maybe that's a power they've decided to just make up for him, but I did not notice that either time I watched.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you maybe noticed that, because I noticed it the second time, and I was like, that's weird. I don't know. Either I think you guys are misinterpreting what you're seeing. Possibly. Who knows?
Or maybe that's just a CGI error on their part or something, because a lot of that is just computer generated. Oh, yeah. But I didn't notice it either time I saw it. Okay. Maybe I'm missing something.
Who knows? We'll see.
That's not a power he has in the comics.
Yeah.
But, and then the final stinger after the credits of Bucky researching his own history. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Just means he's out there.
Yeah. Program lost. He's the new Alice. Speaking of Resident Evil.
Yeah, so it was a great movie.
Yeah.
I'm super psyched. And you know what? We've had this discussion before. Back when this phase first started, back in Iron Man 3, we both agreed that Guardians of the Galaxy is probably our most highly anticipated movie.
Yeah.
Of the whole series. And while I'm still very much looking forward to it, as soon as I got out of that theater, I'm like, my first reaction was, I really wish we didn't have to wait so long for Avengers 2.
Yeah.
I want to follow up on this immediately.
Yeah.
And, I love you, Guardians, and I look forward to your movie. But right now, you're in the way.
Yeah.
You're an obstacle that I have to overcome to get to the meat.
Yeah.
I'm still super excited to see Guardians.
So next year, is it just Avengers 2? Is that all we get next year?
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man. That's the other one I couldn't remember. Okay.
Which, they come out very close together.
Oh, do they?
They're only a month apart, I think. Which is really bizarre. The Ant-Man was supposed to come out later in the year, kind of like Guardians is right now, towards August, September. But they bumped it up when Justice League got pushed off. They moved Ant-Man up closer. But now Ant-Man's only not even 2 months away from Avengers 2. So they're going to have a huge space of just nothing happening.
Yeah. Who knows?
Almost one entire year without getting a single movie. Because Ant-Man comes out, I think, in June. I think. And then the next 2016 movie, which supposedly is going to be Captain America 3 or Thor 3.
Yeah.
Won't come out until May.
I know Cap 3 is going to be facing, whenever Batman Superman is, so I suppose. Well, no, they did say it, though.
Yeah, there's a bunch of articles saying that there's going to be the big battle of the weekend box office between Cap 3 and Justice League. Or, I'm sorry. Yeah. You know what I mean. Yeah, whenever I'm saying Justice League, I mean Superman 2.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. And I actually had this discussion with my roommate recently. Mm-hmm. Those two movies are not coming out on the same weekend. Because neither studio is stupid enough to do that. It's fun to talk about. It's fun to imagine, the big the battle royale. It's almost like one of those old boxing posters you'd see that'd be like, the main event, Captain America 3 versus Superman 2. You know, winner takes all, blah, 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 blah. You know, like, it's fun to joke about, it's fun to think about, and there's certainly going to be a lot of Marvel versus DC. Which one's better? You know, like that.
Yeah, all that thing.
But neither studio is going to release their movie on the same weekend.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. Because if you've got 100 people, because not everybody can see both movies in the same weekend.
Of course, no.
In fact, the majority of moviegoers, the average moviegoer, can't see two movies in the same weekend. Mm-hmm. I struggle to be able to see two movies in the same weekend.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to pick between one or the other. So, and everybody at this point, everybody's just like, "Cool, that's awesome though," because you get to see which one's better, you know, because more people go see this or more people go see that. It doesn't matter at this point, like which one's better. Like let's pretend we're the Marvel guys, and let's just pretend, and this is just hypothetical, that more people want to see Captain America 3 than Justice League or Superman 2. Let's say that out of those 100 people in this theater that are going to the movies, 3/4 of them want to see Captain America instead of Justice League. Instead of Superman. Yeah. Like, everybody on the internet seems to be like, that's awesome! Haha, suck it, DC! 3/4 of the audience wants to see Marvel instead. Yeah, 3/4 of that 100 are coming to see your movie, but now Marvel's losing 25% of their whole weekend gross. 25% of that gone.
Yeah.
And they still, in this hypothetical situation, they still beat out Justice League, or whatever that movie's called. But there's no way Marvel would want to lose 25% of their weekend box office because of that. I'm sure they would love, like, secretly, they're under the table, tapping their fingers together, secretly wanting to beat DC and make more money, but they're not going to risk that on the opening weekend. And it's the exact same vice versa. Yeah. You know, it could be the exact opposite. Maybe 3 out of 4 people want to go see Superman versus Batman instead. Right. But now they're going to lose 25% of their box office. That's millions of dollars. Yeah. On these movies, these are movies that are coming close to $1 billion. To lose almost $200 million just because your audience couldn't see both movies. Yeah. And they chose the other one instead. If you push it at least minimum 2 weeks apart, then people can get time to see both, and you make your full weekend box office.
Of course, yeah.
So I don't think either studio is dumb enough to release on the same weekend.
So when do you think they'll announce it? Because right now, both studios have locked in the dates for that.
I don't think it's happening. I think they'll, one or the other. I think it's more likely that the Marvel one will change, and they'll come out 2 weeks before or after.
I actually think at most the DC one will change based on, and they'll try to delay it, I think at anything, I don't know. I'm waiting until whenever they finally fully say that this is gonna happen or not. I still think it probably, honestly, I'm the person that thinks it will happen. Not in a bad sense. I just feel like from the way both studios have been acting as of recently, I think this is a chance that it still could happen, that this does. But I think the only way that anything will get changed is if Batman Superman, they are delayed because of production problems and CGI problems. Because I feel like that's really the only thing really holding back Batman Superman right now. I don't know.
I think both studios are smarter than the school, than falling for like the schoolyard bully fight. You know, just like take it outside and we'll see who's best.
I'm sure.
Don't be idiots, guys. Yeah. I don't like the DC universe. It's not a secret. Right. I like a couple of the Nolan Batman movies. Right. And I don't purposely want DC to fail or anything like that. Right. But But, like, if you try to compete with Marvel,
this far
both studios are going to get punished for it.
Yeah.
It's not even about I want this to happen because I want to see DC get crushed.
Yeah.
Like, if Marvel won that battle for the weekend box office, they're still losing so much money because the majority of the average moviegoer can't see both movies in the same weekend.
Exactly.
And you gotta guesstimate, that's all this really is. Yeah. Like, a fourth of your weekend profit just being gone to the other movie. Neither studio would want to risk that. Nope. So, I don't think they'll release on the same date.
I hope they announce something soon, then. I hope they say that they're going to change it. But,
But if Marvel's ready to compete against Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, then Captain America 3 is the best choice.
It really is.
Because obviously Avengers would be the best one,
right?
To overpower them, but that doesn't fit in their slots. But between Captain America 3, Thor 3, Doctor Strange, whatever the little individual movies they're working on, Cap 3 is the best choice to try and overpower it if they're willing to risk that.
Yeah. But who knows? We'll find out on the next grand episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Any other thoughts about Captain America 3 or any other, like, Marvel in general, like Marvel Cinematic Universe? Thoughts?
I don't have any, do you?
Just that I hope to God that those pictures of Ultron, his face, I hope that's not it.
I haven't seen any.
You haven't seen?
No.
For the past few weeks, there's been some set photos of Captain America 3. No, Captain America on the set of Age of Ultron. Yeah. Hawkeye, Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver.
Yeah.
And,
well, I've seen those. I haven't seen anything with Ultron.
They have a obviously very, very pre-CGI Ultron, and all it is just a guy in a big black pants, black coat, and he's just got some chromatic shoulder pads and a mask. The only Ultron thing on him are the shoulder pads and the helmet. The rest of it's all going to be CGI'd, and even parts of the shoulders and parts of the face will be CGI. But his face looks fucking stupid as shit. It doesn't look very Ultron, and he doesn't look scary. He looks like a sad robot. Like, the way the face is built and stuff, he literally looks sad. Like, he doesn't want to be there. And
no, he doesn't.
Aww,
they thought Loki would
humanity, why are you so mean?
Just give me the stones. Give me the stones. What are you doing?
But Ultron's very well known in the comics for like jumping body to body. Like he's got his initial one. He builds himself a new body and puts his consciousness, copies himself into that, and et cetera, et cetera. He keeps upgrading himself and making a new body and a new body. And when they finally destroy him, they only find out that there's another body somewhere else in the world that's ready to activate. So hopefully they go that route and he changes, but that face is terrible. Oh. That's my 2 cents on that.
That should have been your soapbox.
Should have been my soapbox, I guess. I don't know, I don't care. Yeah. Well, the point is, Captain America 2 is the best.
The point is,
it's the best.
Yes.
I hope that all future Marvel movies come close to being that good.
Yes, we be baguette.
Anything else?
Nope.
Alright. And with that, hope you guys enjoyed a special Captain America episode of the Unwind Rewind.
Yes.
All 4 of you that will listen.
Yeah.
I love you guys.
You're the best.